In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a bank rule in Xero. So the first step is to log into your Xero account and then head to the dashboard. Once you're there, just look for the accounting tab right here, give it a click, and then select bank accounts. Now under bank accounts, we'll see these tabs over here. And then we're just going to look for bank rules. And then from here, we'll be able to see a list of all the existing bank rules we have on our Xero account. And if we look at the top right section of the screen, we can already go ahead and create a new rule. So we're going to try to do that right now. And from here, we have three options for creating a bank rule. So we can either create a bank rule that that's for spending or payment. We can create a bank rule for receiving money, or one for transferring money between accounts. So from here on the first section, which is the apply a bank rule, we can either select it to be any conditions match or all conditions match. This will depend on the conditions we've set in our bank rule. So for example, maybe we have motor vehicle. So motor vehicle is our value, and value for this instance is similar to like a keyword, in which if Xero detects this keyword in a specific transaction, then the bank rule will be applied depending on the conditions that we've set. So for example, right now under field, we have any text field. So this would mean that if the value motor vehicle is contained in any of the text fields in a particular transaction, then the bank rule will be applied. Now we can also change this to instead of just the any text field, maybe you'd like it to be detected only in the payee field, the description, the amount, the reference, or the analysis code. That depends on how you'd like to categorize your bank rule into. The same goes with condition. So for example, we have again motor vehicle, and then the field is set to any text field. We can change the condition to equals, which is a more strict approach, because equals would entail that the transaction, any of the fields in the transaction, should only include the words motor vehicle or the phrase motor vehicle and no other additional words, so that the bank rule will be applied. Now we also have starts with, so this would just mean that if any of the text field starts with motor vehicle, then the bank rule will be applied. Also, if you don't necessarily need a specific value, you can just select is blank. So this is also another category. So if any text field is blank, then the bank rule will be applied. Now, if you'd like to add more conditions, just click on this add condition button right here, and you'll be able to generate a new one. For the sake of an example, we're going to put in parking, and then maybe equals, something like that. And you can keep adding conditions, as much conditions as you'd like. Now again, over in this section, if any of these conditions match, then our bank rule will be applied. But if we've selected all conditions match, then all of these conditions must be met before the bank rule can be applied. So for this example, we're going to stick with any conditions match, and we're just going to delete the third one, then use contains under condition. Now we're going to move on to set the contact. So from here, we can either set it to an existing or new contact. If we have one in mind in our account, just type in the name of the contact right here. For example, it's me. I have a contact over here. Or you can set the contact during bank reconciliation so that when the transaction gets detected, then from there, when you're trying to reconcile the transaction, you'll get to select the contact that's applicable for the bank rule or from the payee. So there, just choose which one you'd prefer. For this example, we're gonna try to use an existing contact. Maybe Ridgeway University. Now here, we can, we can change the account where the transaction involved goes to. So since the nature of our bank rule is to spend money, we're gonna choose which account that transaction goes to. So since it's related to motor vehicle, maybe something like motor vehicle expenses. And as you can see, this would entail that 100% of the transaction and its its involved fees, will be allocated fully to the motor vehicle expenses account. Now, if we need to add a new one, add a new account, just click on the add a new line, then select the other account where you want to allocate the transaction. So maybe general expenses, for example. Then of course, since the total has to be 100%, you're just gonna have to divide the percentage per account. It doesn't have to be equal, like 50 for example. You can also do like maybe 70-30. 70% over there, and then here maybe 30%. As long as the total is 100%, then this should work. Now for the next part, set the reference. We can either set the reference of the bank rule to an existing information that's already present in the transaction. So those are reference, description, payee, check number, or analysis code. So as long as these info are present in the transaction, then Xero will automatically detect them when they apply the bank rule, and that will be used as the reference. Alternatively, you can also select during bank reconciliation. So this would mean that you get to set your own reference once you reconcile that bank transaction if the bank rule that we've set is applicable. Now, lastly, we can select to run this rule on all bank accounts or a specific one. So for example, in our demo account, we can either select business bank account or business savings account. And then in here, we're just going to name the rule. So since we have motor vehicle and parking for Ridgeway University, maybe just vehicle expenses, something like that. Now, once we're good with all the details, we can just go ahead and click save. And that bank rule will be active on our account. Now we're just gonna go back real quick again on bank accounts under accounting. We'll show you how it looks once we're at the reconciliation page. So here we have the reconcile 30 items button. Just gonna open that real quick. And if the bank rule is applicable, for example, in this transaction, then this OK button will also appear right here, and we can just quickly reconcile it. Also, we can access the create a bank rule from this menu just by clicking on the options drop down right next to any of the transactions, and then select create bank rule. And that's about it. That's how you create a bank rule in Xero. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to help you out.